6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. I am going to go ahead and ask for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We'll go on back up to the Trust Awards. Mr. Hoffman?
Good evening, everybody. Jimmy Hoffman, principal at Lakeland High School. I'd just like to take just a few minutes just to give you guys an update on Lakeland High School and a short second just to brag about where we're at currently in our current reality. I'm extremely lucky to be in the position I'm in. I'm surrounded by such great people from our staff, all the way down to our students, but also our parents. This has been a fantastic school year. We're off to a great start. I can't believe it's already halfway through. We'll be handing out diplomas before you know it. Academically, we're on fire right now. Right now we're looking at compiling all of our data from the ISATs from even just last year. It's looking like we're the #1 public high school from 4A, 5A, 6A schools across the state of Idaho in math scores.
That's great.
That's pretty unheard of nowadays, and that's extremely hard to accomplish. Athletically, we just won our 8th straight battle for the paddle against Sandpoint. Our school culture, I would say, is the best it's ever been, and it's really, really fun to be at Lakeland High School right now. Tonight, this brings me a chance to show a few standouts at Lakeland High School. We have 9 tonight. We could have picked many, many more, but I'm going to have our administration come up. We're going to divide them up, and we'll just share a little bit about each student, and then I'll wrap up at the end as well. But we'll try to make this quick because we do have nine kids. We don't want to take up a whole lot of time, but we definitely want to give it justice. So first up, Mr. Frank.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for allowing me to present today, and like Mr. Hoffman got done saying, I do think I could be talking about 850 kids right now, and every one of our kids has something special and unique about them, that so many positive good things. But there's 3 kids that I'm going to talk to you all about and present to you, and these 3 students have special unique characteristics about them. And the first person that I want to talk to you about is freshman Jonathan Centano. Jonathan, you want to come on up, buddy? So Jonathan, what really separates Jonathan from a lot of students is every single time I see this kid walk through that hallway, every single time, he's got a smile on his face. And I'm sure he goes through things just like any one of our students, but he finds a way to find the positive in what he's a part of. He every time I see him, he looks to give me, I think he's going to give me this big old high five. He's got a big old smile on his face, and I get ready to go give him a high five, and sure enough, he'll duck dive me. But he always comes back. He always comes back, and he'll go, "Oh, it's all right, Mr. Frank. He'll give me a high five or give me a little tackle and whatnot." And I know Mr. Hoffman, he'll go through the PE class every now and then, and sure enough, if Jonathan sees a ball on the ground, he'll go grab that ball and try to hit Mr. Hoffman right square in the head. He's always trying to prank. That's just what he does. He's a prankster, but he always does it with a great heart. He's pure, he's happy, he's joyful, and I can tell you what, Jonathan, I know for a fact, I can tell you that you have such a big impact on Lakeland High School, and you make my job a lot more enjoyable to do. So I appreciate for what you bring to the table, kiddo. All right. So that's Jonathan. All right, champ. There you go, buddy.
Congratulations, buddy.
Oh, he did it. All right. The next person, I did not see him walk in, but the next person I see that I would like to share is the 11th grader, junior Vash Hanford. And what separates Vash, one quality trait that I've seen, I've witnessed Vash do, and the way he contributes to Lakeland High School, is kindness and serving others. There's been a few times throughout there'll be a big old mess during lunchtime, and I spend a lot of time in the lunchroom, watching, observing, just seeing different kids do a lot of great things and sometimes not so great things. But I've watched Vash multiple times be walking by and seeing a piece of trash, picking it up, whether it's his, whether it's not his. But there was one specific case his freshman year that stood out to me. So 2 years ago, kid with special needs, kid that had a challenge that 5, 10, 15 people walked by him, but then he needs some assistance, and Vash went out of his way to help this kid out. The number of kids that I've talked to, that are dealing with going through difficult times and going through difficult situations, how many kids that I've asked, do you have a trusted friend? And do you want to tell me about any of your friends that are having a positive impact on you? I've heard this student's name over and over and over again. And the kid has a huge impact on our band. He's a huge impact on our hallways. He's a huge impact in our classroom. But he does it with kindness and serving. So, Vash Hanford, again, there's no doubt in my mind that this kid has made a huge impact on Lakeland High School and a huge impact on me. The last student I'd like to present to you or talk about is Cash Lunn. And, Cash Lunn, the number one thing, right now, no doubt about it, that stands out to me, toughness and grit. Cash, you want to come on up? So Cash, amazing athlete. Amazing athlete, and you watch this guy. I've seen a lot of athletes, and I tell you, I've never seen a kid get from home to first as fast as Cash. I've never seen a kid so explosive on the wrestling mat, and I've never seen a kid so tough and competitive on the football field, whether it be the offense or defensive side. I can go through and on about his athletic ability, but a lot of that stuff is, he's worked his butt off for a lot of it, but some of it's just given to him. The thing that separates Cash from anybody else is his toughness. Cash recently, going in, he's worked from ever since I've seen him, actually in 7th and 8th grade when I coached him in middle school wrestling. I watched him in 9th grade, work in the weight room, and I've always thought that football was kind of his go-to thing, and he's had these goals to be the best football player and potentially win a state championship, and he's worked his freshman year, worked his sophomore year, worked his 11th grade year, worked his 12th grade year. Well, sure enough, I think it was one of the last games of the season, second to last game of the season, yeah. He ends up having a knee injury that prevented him from playing and fulfilling his personal dreams of going and winning the state championship for Lakeland. And what a lot of kids would do is feel sorry for themselves and just go down. I never once, and I talked to him 4, 5, 6, 7 different times in that 2-week span, never once did I talk about or did I hear him feel sorry for himself. Never once did I feel him like, oh, poor me, poor me. I still saw him on the sidelines finding a way to contribute. His ability to face adversity, his ability to have some grit, it really truly does separate him. And I'll tell you what, that alone is going to take you very, very far in life. So that's Cash Lunn. So real quick, I just want to kind of recap. Well, first of all, these 3 individuals that I talked about, amazing human being, amazing people themselves, but, I first want to I want to talk about the people that support you and surround you. They have a huge impact on what you become. So, parents, loved ones surrounding that's helped mold the individuals that I just got done talking about. Thank you so much for doing your part and, raising quite young, fine gentlemen. So can we give them a round of applause as well? Thanks, Mr. Taylor, Superintendent Taylor. Thank you, Board, for giving me the time to be able to present our Lakeland's finest. Thank you. Thank you.
And I can't reiterate more what these gentlemen have said. It's a pleasure to work in our building. And these kids and the families that are here today are the reason we do what we do. Some days our jobs are hard, but 99% of the time our jobs are fantastic, and it's the kids and the families behind it that make being in our building every day the reason we're behind it. So it's a great opportunity. I would first like to invite Katie Nave up. Katie's an exceptional sophomore student, both academically and personally. She consistently demonstrates a strong work ethic, takes pride in her learning, pushes herself to do her best in every class. Beyond her academic strength, she's genuinely kind and respectful with everyone that she interacts with. She's supportive to her peers, positive in the classroom, and always willing to help others. Her current plan is to use all of her talents and dedication to pursue a career in physical therapy. Her character, dedication truly make her deserving as a Lakeland standout. Super proud of you, Katie.
Thank you.
Always on the bottom.
Always on the job.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was
That's right.
close to the bottom.
Here you go, here.
Thank you.
Thank you. My next student is 9th grader, Kylie Lund. She brings joy and positivity to everyone she meets. Her favorite part of school is spending time with her friends and teachers, and her bright personality makes those connections meaningful. Kylie loves to sing and has a special passion for math, which is her favorite subject. She's well known around campus for stopping by the office to share stories with our admin assistant, and she likes to really spend some time with our administrative assistants, don't you? Yep. She's always, when she walks in, brings a smile, enthusiasm, and kindness. She's truly one of the happiest students you will ever meet. You will never see her in a bad mood. At least we haven't. Mom might be able to tell us different. Outside of school, Kylie enjoys spending time with her family, playing Roblox with her sisters. Her joyful spirit and her genuine love for others makes Kylie a wonderful member of our Lakeland High School community. And my last student that I get to talk about is a senior in our building, and one of our staff members probably described her best. Colt Williams. This teacher said, I first met Colt when she was a freshman, and from the very beginning it was clear that she was an exceptional student and individual. Beyond her consistently strong participation, she demonstrated an ability to engage with complex ideas at a level well beyond her peers, offering thoughtful, nuanced insights that reflected genuine intellectual curiosity. Equally impressive is the kindness and humanity she brings into the classroom through her positive interactions with classmates and her respectful collaboration and relationship with staff and peers. The quality of her writing, her willingness to engage in challenging subject matter, and her mature, credible approach to learning consistently set her apart. She approaches every assignment as an opportunity for growth and holds herself to a high standard, submitting work that reflects care, effort, and pride. Above all, Colt Williams is an outstanding human being whose character, work ethic, and compassion make her a remarkable representative of our school and fully deserving of this recognition.
We'll just take a quick second to share with everybody that Cash just was accepted to Eastern Oregon University to play football.
That's awesome.
My alma mater, so I'm a little happy about that. First young lady I would like to speak about is Andy Boyer. This young lady is quite exceptional. I first got to set my eyes on Andy when she was playing club volleyball for Idaho Impact, and my daughter and her were actually teammates for a summer, where I got to see her face a little adversity and go through some challenges, as all of the girls did. But there was one thing that separated Andy apart from everybody else, which was just her positive impact on the team and being able to lift up the team. And when mistakes happened, she was always the first to make sure that everybody was okay and we can get back on the right page. This young lady is currently maintains a 4.0 GPA, where she is enrolled in multiple dual credit classes, including trigonometry and pre-calculus, chemistry, English, and history. She has a full load. She does it with a smile on her face every single day, and we really appreciate that. But this young lady is just well-rounded. She hunts and enjoys fishing and spending time with friends and family. She truly does have an appreciation for the people in the community here at Lakeland, and she's very well liked by her teachers and peers, there's no doubt. She plans on being a ultrasound tech, but her favorite, or her best quality is obviously her genuine happiness, and it just rubs off on everybody. She just lights up the room whenever she walks in. So we really appreciate that, Andy. Congratulations. Next young man is Ryan Stipich. I really got to know Ryan at the beginning of this year, and he's currently a 10th grader here at Lakeland High School. We really tried finding kids in every single facet. Ryan doesn't play a single sport at Lakeland High School, and he leaves at 2:10 every single day. But there was something about him, and as I started digging a little bit further and further, I started to get to know him, and his love for building and his love for mechanics. This young man is a sponsored snowmobile rider.
Cool.
And this kid can absolutely. One thing about Ryan, if he can spark up a conversation and maybe get out of class a little bit, like he is going to stop and he will fill your whole day with, hey, Mr. Hoffman, check out this video. Hey, Mr. Hoffman, check out this picture. And he very rarely does he walk by me without showing me his new project. Amazing thing about him is, one time what really grabbed my attention, he goes, yeah, I built a lawnmower that currently goes 25 miles an hour. I'm like, okay, that's impressive. You caught my attention. But he currently has 51 vehicles to his name right now. Wow. And he'll show me a video where he's taking a golf cart off of a jump, or and so very unique skill.
Yeah, off the ground.
But Ryan has an amazing skill. Not only is it working with his hands and building things, his communication skills and his people skills are going to take him very far in life, and he's going to be very successful doing that. His curiosity brings out the very best in him. Obviously, I have a four-wheeler that won't run, and I pulled him aside the other day. I'm like, you got to come pick this thing up and get this running. He knew exactly what four-wheeler it was. He already knew the problem before he's even seen it. So he's very handy, and we really appreciate that about him. So that's Ryan Stipich. The last young man I want to talk about is Noah Bodak. This one, I'm going to try not to get emotional, but Noah, I've known for a long time. In fact, when he was just a little guy, I've had both his brother and sister in school, and this family is quite exceptional. And the Bodaks have raised amazing young men and women to not only make Lakeland High School a better place, but this community. Noah has a work ethic that I've never seen before, and a desire to win and be successful at everything he does. He's also a young man that will do anything for you. If you ask him to do something, it's always yes, sir. In fact, he's going to go to work for his family business, where he was working just right before he came here. He has no problems working and doing the hard work and helping out. But on the football field, he helped us, reach a level that we haven't reached in a very long time, making it to the semifinals and the quarterfinals last year. Looking ahead, he plans on, like I said, working for his family business. But most importantly about Noah is just his leadership. And his leadership it makes our school a special place. Whenever I get to see him, in fact, him and Cash probably spent an hour in my office just talking just about life, and those conversations and being around these kids does make our job so enjoyable. So I would just like to say thank you to not only Noah but everybody here. The last thing I want to share about Noah is that Noah will bring the very best out in people, like I said, with his leadership skills, but his choice of words and his charismatic attitude, he's always picking people up and making sure that everybody around him feels valued. So that's Noah Bodak. You know, a lot of principals will get up here and, you know, speak about the kids, they'll speak about our staff, but, you know, a lot of times we forget about what I consider the most important reason why I think the Lakeland School District, but especially Lakeland High School, is so successful, and that's our parents. Our parents, we are so lucky, you guys. I get to go to these meetings monthly and meet with all principals in Region 1 and listen to all that everybody has problems and discipline. We really don't have that problem here at Lakeland High School. I'm not saying we're perfect by any means, but we are extremely lucky. And I think our community has done such a great job of raising fine young men and women. Our elementaries and our middle schools have done a great job of preparing them for high school. And like I said, we're extremely lucky. So to the parents, we're so grateful for all of you guys and doing such a great job and making our lives a lot better. So there's a couple of highlights of Lakeland High School. Hopefully we'll continue to do the good work and make our school district and our community proud. So there's Lakeland High School.
Parents and students, if you'd like to leave, you may do so. Thank you so much. Parents, thank you so much for bringing your kids to our school district. We really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good report.
What did you up to? Have a good night. Good night. Oh, how you doing? I'll tell you what. It's so nice seeing you. See you later. Thanks, Miss Tyler. We're going to get a picture. Johnny, can we get a picture right here? Oh, you're going to get, okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Huh?
Dave's trying to make it in here.
Oh, is he? Dory's too.
Yeah.
We'll get it there. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice of you to show up.
Thanks. He did come in at like, I don't know,
I know,
5 minutes
I
ago.
saw him.
All right, good.
That's not, I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't have it swimming around in the office all by myself.
No pity.
Never use it.
They are trying to exit.
Got my own network.
Good at something.
Brush it.
There we go. Are you good if we keep going? We just stare at my computer. Okay. Okay, so we're going to approve the agenda. Next up, is there anyone here for public input? No one? Okey doke. We will move on to the action items. We have the FFA State Convention. Did we change the board agenda item request form?
Took a look at it, sorry. I thought Olivia was going to put it up.
She did. It's right there.
So it wasn't when I looked. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I apologize, Michelle. We did adjust it, yes, because we added co-curricular activities. We just wanted. I just want to see if this is the one we had. This looks like to be the old one. Oh, how many chaperones? No, this is the new one. Right.
Okay, do you think we could add, when it's, what is the cost of the event and how are expenses being covered? The biggest clarification we would need is what is this costing the district? Because if the district is going to have expensing funds for extracurricular or co-curricular or whatever, that is something the board has always requested to understand. We do have to keep that open. It's okay. No, I appreciate what you were trying to do. Thank you, Jake. So since we've changed the form, if we could make sure that that gets on there so that it is clear.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. So do we have any conversations, discussion, anything we want to have on this request?
Nope, looks like it's pretty thorough.
When they say they don't know the cost, so.
Right.
But it'll be covered by CTE
Yep.
dollars and
the
the FFA account.
Yep.
Correct.
So there's, yeah.
Okay, if there's no further discussion on the,
I'll move to approve the FFA state convention
Thank you.
request.
Second,
all right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Sorry, it's what was on the agenda and what's on this form, and nothing was lining up. So I'm like, what am I calling this? But you did good. Thank you so much. Moving on to the State Skills USA competition. Given that this is a state trip, is the district paying for this?
Yes, ma'am.
And do we have any idea what the cost is going to be?
No, ma'am, at this time, I'll have both of the bits of information for you. I apologize that was missed.
Okay. Does anybody have any conversation, discussion, anything on this?
so I assume this is the Lakeland High School. That's the other thing. Am I missing it? But there's no, I thought we had a different form.
We did.
Wasn't all that on the other form?
We just took, we added a few things from the previous form. I can't remember, I'll be honest with you. So,
Yeah, if we could have the school on there too, so
Yes,
we
ma'am.
know. I mean, we know by looking at some of the people, but.
Or the signature.
signatures, it's Jenny's, it's
Yeah.
Lakeland's.
Right, yeah,
Keep
probably.
Yeah, the board agenda item that used to come up had, you know, who it was from, who was, and all of that, and then there was a summary in the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'll
don't
tie it together,
mind
absolutely.
the form that's been created, but it is a lot more, it's not as cohesive or clear.
Well, we will do what we can to straighten that out.
Do we have any conversation that needs to be had on this request?
Where are they going?
Given that it's the Idaho State, I'm assuming somewhere down in Boise?
Boise.
They're
It's
staying
not.
at the La Quinta Town Square, so yeah, it's in
Boise.
Boise, but it doesn't specify on this
No.
on this form, but
Yeah,
that's where it's at.
I didn't know where that was. I didn't know if they were going like to out of state to state, you know how they do that sometime, you have to travel to another state. And what is it, just out of curiosity, I did look at the Skills USA website, but it didn't really break it down. Do you know what they're actually?
I think it's welding days.
Is it welding?
Yeah.
It is.
They call it something different, right?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Well,
I thought it
other
was,
things happening at the state level, we compete in welding, and that's what
Welding,
we are.
right.
oh, okay,
Yep.
so it's welding.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we could put a little blurb in there, or a little check mark or something, so we know. But that's cool. I was just really curious. I was like, oh, this is cool. What are we doing there?
We're welding.
I don't have anything else. I still don't understand why the board's form got changed, but I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to jazz band.
This one has everything on it.
She's very thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there.
I will move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we need to have any conversation on this? It does note that there's a caveat from Ryan that he's approving it pending the raising of enough funds, as this is the second trip. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Do we know, just for our own info, like what day they're going to be performing there? I wonder if it's on the calendar. I wonder if they're going to stream it. That would be cool to see. I like this,
Yeah, it would be.
this
Yeah.
jazz.
That
I like-
competition
yeah.
is really fun. Yeah.
I like watching this one. So it'd be cool if we could watch them, if it was streaming or something. I guess we could
day.
shoot them an email.
Well, they're traveling one day. The jazz festival is actually it's a
Oh, so how do they return? They only travel one day.
that's a good thing. I don't know.
We will bust down Thursday after school to a hotel. We will have.
And they're staying the night.
already blocked out rooms. Yeah.
South Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
Just a couple times and already blocked out.
So
I'm
gate with
Maybe it's just
with the S and in parentheses would be good on this form.
Yeah, so
If we're
people know.
changing, dates of travel
Yep.
or dates of.
We will add it. And we changed the form because we wanted to clarify on the previous form, we didn't have chaperones and listed those chaperones. That was something the board had done, so we just went ahead and made some other changes. I thought it was very similar to the previous one. I just can't speak on it, I apologize.
So did you direct the changes to be made?
I directed the changes in regards to the chaperones, yeah, because that was something the board wanted.
No, the creation of the form.
form.
No, the form was, I think, I would tell you yes. In this case, I'm going to own it, so I think we just revised the form. So I just need to see what the difference was. My apologies.
Okay. Did we vote on jazz band?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
That's-
Moving on to the sports schedule. Sorry.
I'll be honest with you, Michelle, I forgot to.
We have the LMS 8th grade boys basketball schedule and the Timberlake Middle School track schedule. Do we have any conversations to be had on either one of these?
I just have a comment on the Sandpoint games, that the A and B teams are playing, one's playing at home and the other one's playing away, and then the next time they play Sandpoint, one's playing at home and one's playing a game. That means we have to make 2 trips up to Sandpoint. If they were both home or away on the same day, we could make 1 trip to Sandpoint instead of 2 trips to Sandpoint.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will move to approve this, but I would ask that be considered for future.
So, a few thoughts, just because this is my world, when I with refereeing and things like that. Sometimes it has to deal with, hey, can they find the referees? That could be one thing, and I'm speculating, and I just know that.
Gym space.
Yeah. Gym space is the other one, so I was going to say, thank you, David. So,
Yep.
And that's it.
I just want to make sure that that's being.
Yep, considered, absolutely.
I have no conversation.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the clerk of the board job description.
Timberlake Middle School track.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were approving them
Both.
together.
Oh, yeah, we can.
That's what I
Do
thought.
both.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
good get.
That was your intention with your motion,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I'm a mind reader. All right, moving on to the clerk of the board job description. We have, I had requested that we add at minimum an associate's degree on the job description. I didn't ask for any other changes. Does the board want to hold a conversation on this job description?
I just have one thing that reading through this, I know we reviewed it back in 21, but
Right.
knowing more about the position, I have a hard time, number 6, and it's the top of the second page, and it says, work with the board and superintendent in keeping the district's policy manual up to date and current, and which is fine, but I have an issue with, and assist the superintendent and the board in developing and updating policies for all aspects of the board business operation. I'm sorry, I don't think this is a position that needs to have anything to do with developing policies. It's not an administrator, it's not a board position. Keeping record of those policies being updated is one thing. I don't
Right.
think that, I
Yeah.
think we,
Developing and
It's
updating
interesting.
policies.
On the qualifications, what if, I know it says at least an associate's degree, but what if somebody has 10, 15 years of experience?
we could have it say or
Or
equivalent.
equivalent,
Well, it
or
does say, it says or equivalent college credits.
college credits,
Yeah.
but it doesn't say experience. So if you had somebody that was clerk of the board somewhere else and they have experience, I mean, are we gonna deny them an interview?
I wouldn't.
Or just asking.
No, I hear you. We've done that in the past where people haven't met certain qualifications, but they've met like the other
Right.
qualifications. And it's not that we've overlooked it, but we've weighed it with different positions. But going back to Randy's concern on point 6 on page 2, what would you like to do with that, Randy?
Just scratch the second part of that sentence. It's a long sentence, but I would just end it at,
Up to date and current,
Yeah.
period?
Yeah.
yep.
Yep,
Okay.
good recommendation.
So we don't have, what the other one looked like, we just have this one with that one change.
This is what the other one looked like.
It is?
The one change is simply highlighted number 1 under qualifications. Isn't that correct, Brooke?
Correct.
Okay. Because that was what.
My only question is, I don't remember all of this superintendent mingling with, I mean, the one reason we rewrote that was to remove all of that, because the clerk belongs to the board. And we run into problems when the clerk becomes the superintendent's assistant.
Right.
And I thought we had removed all of that from the last, that's why, one of the reasons we redid it, other than, you know, the responsibilities, updating and all that kind of stuff, but,
Yeah, because,
Trustee Grissom, I recently recall you saying that, probably, I don't know, a couple months ago or so. But I did pull up in board book, and this was
The
the
same
exact
one?
job description that the board approved in December 9th of
Yeah.
2021.
and this is the one that we ran on the last.
On this
Okay.
current.
All right.
Mhm.
I didn't grab it, but I just thought, I thought we got rid of all that.
But if
Okay.
you guys want to make additional changes to this, I mean, you're more than welcome to table it and then provide me your changes and.
Can we just put, as a district records custodian, the clerk will assist, not be responsible, but
So there
assist for the-
is a separate job description for the records custodian.
right.
There's two different
Yeah.
ones.
Mhm.
My other question or comment, concern, I guess, is under the records and reports, number 1, assist in compiling data and preparing reports required by federal and state law, administrative rules, and board policy. What data and reports would that apply to? can't think of anything that
Well,
we've ever.
Being here for 6 months, I can tell you right now, well, maybe it was something in the past. I mean, obviously Brooke and Leah both worked in the position. I can't imagine what that would be when it would come to, I think, records request and things like that, but that's not preparing data. I mean, well, unless the board asks for, I've had that where the board has asked the clerk to prepare some data, or asked me to help the board, help the clerk. They're not here, obviously, so that's the only thing I could think of, so.
I actually, this, I have no idea why that's.
I mean, I guess that, well, technically the clerk would be responsible if people are coming in, so it would actually be more county and state for elections. They would have to compile
Data for that.
Right. But
Yeah, but number 6 should be removed because this is specific to the clerk.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, because we don't do them one and the same. They're not.
Typically, they are the same person, but they're
Right.
2 different job descriptions.
Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
guys had
We broke
approved
it apart.
both of them
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
same day.
Okay, so why don't we table this? I move to table the job description.
I'll second.
Thank you, to make sure that we can get our corrections to Brooke and have it brought back at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did you say aye? Okay. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
I didn't get this until after we compiled our list of candidates.
Oh. Okay.
I was just guessing what they do. So,
Well, you guessed good.
oh, okay.
Moving on to discussion items. On the agenda is policy committee again. It's been a recommendation from the admin that we put policy committee on a hiatus until the clerk of the board is up and running. So I don't know how everyone feels about that. Policy committee is a committee that meets once a week on Mondays to try and power through these policies for the board's benefit. Me personally, I don't want to lose momentum from where we're at, but on the other side of the fence, I also understand the, in all fairness, all the organization we had has just gone out the door, and it's a hot mess. So someone's going to have to get in there and kind of realign everything and make it a smooth, fluid, functioning ship like it was before. So, that being said, I don't know what the board's preference is. If we allow policy committee to take a hiatus, if the board wants to step up and each member take 2 or 3 policies so that we can not fall behind like we had been of many, many, many years. You know, I don't know what the board would like to do with respect to this. I do believe there is some validity in giving the clerk time to get her feet or his feet stabilized in their position before moving on. But because I don't appreciate handing over a mess to someone, and in my opinion, not that that matters, it is a mess right now.
Just put it on pause for a couple weeks till we hire a new clerk.
we have our list, right, of the ones that we have to do annually, right?
There is a
There is
list.
a list,
Yes, and it is, we actually have a policy that says this is what the board has to do. And then we also had another list that Lynn kept just to make sure that, because we went through a policy on Monday that the board's supposed to review annually. And I'm like, oh, I need to check to make sure that that's there. What did we just do? That we've been on for
facilities.
4 weeks. Oh, yeah, the facility. We're supposed to review the fees annually. So we didn't review them going into this year, and I don't know if we didn't do that because we had just redid the policy last year. Sorry, I promise I won't hit you. But, so.
I had requested that we do that during budget cycle
Okay.
annually because it kind of just falls in well
In
together,
right.
for fees. So,
And in all fairness, I don't know if we did,
Mhm.
because the date on there is 2024. So that's why I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
is this not on the list? And I didn't pull up the list. And so, yes, there is a list
Okay.
in policy that shows all the policies we are to do every year. And Lynn was very good at keeping us on task to ensure that the policies were reviewed prior to the start of the year, so that we're not making changes mid-year. But some of them, aren't necessarily,
They don't.
yeah, it's not gonna be super impactful if we do make modifications or changes.
Well, I definitely agree that we need to get it back on track and put all of that documentation in the clerk's drive, you know? Yeah, and there was some stuff, and I don't know how, but there were shared things I went looking for, working on the trustee manual and some other things, and they've been deleted. I don't know how that happened. So I agree that it needs to be fixed. So I think we need to take control of that. Somebody needs to say, okay, we're gonna do this and fix it, so it's all ready for when the clerk, I know we have policies that we need to, I guess we can just pick away at both of them.
Well, I do think it was a prudent recommendation, because inheriting one mess, I
Right.
don't know what situation the whole clerk environment is in that the new person will be.
well, and maybe we hiatus it at least as long as it takes to, or just as long as it takes to get everything kind of back in order.
Now, I do want to mention that there is a member of the committee that I don't want to lose ever, because she's phenomenal. So, just throwing that out there. Tanya, if you're listening, please, don't run away.
Well, can we share policies with them so they can put their little notes like we used to do, the notes down the sidebar, or?
What do you mean?
If you don't want to lose that person, then you just share the policy like we used to do in Google Docs. And then remember, they used to put their notes down the sidebar, so we'd have the notes were attached to the
Yeah, that was a
policy.
while ago.
Yeah. Unless you still want to meet on Monday so you don't lose the person.
Well, I don't want it to become an overwhelming burden on the new clerk out the gate, is just one of my concerns. I don't mind, my desire is for this gal to sort of step up and take the lead on the committee, so that when I'm not there, the committee will still go. We have a tendency to cancel committee if I'm not there, and I don't think that was ever the intention, but that's kind of been the premise.
Yeah.
So, I can work with her and kind of get her, I guess maybe like some solid footing while we're not recording the meetings and while we're not really doing policy committee work, but just kind of working with her through what's there.
Yeah.
If the board's in agreement with that.
I think that's
Good.
totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, would it be okay with the board if we maybe hiatus policy committee work of bringing policies and making corrections, sending them out, and bring them back to the board for maybe a month, and then
Reevaluate after that
to
see
see
where
how
we're
we
at.
can reorganize the whole structure of policy committee.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Sounds good to me.
That'd be great.
Can I just ask a really quick question? Would it be appropriate to just send an email out to let people know that that's what is going on?
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe put it on the website as well under the policy part, I don't know.
I think there could be a blurb on the website
Okay.
on top of sending the email out. And then I will reach out to Tanya and have a conversation conversation with her again. Because
Well, and maybe we're on the Facebook page where we do the announcements for each meeting that's coming up, just put a little thing out there, just saying.
temporarily postponed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Policy committee has.
Is on a vacay.
Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
it's on the beach.
For a month. Yeah.
So Madam Chair, just a few questions just for direction. So we're going to take policy we have, the board is going to work through those policies, is that correct? Or are we just on, I was reading something else, I apologize. I just clarification on how we're going to roll this out. So policy is not going forward, or the board is going to work through policy for the next month? I just need clarification.
For the next month, policy committee is on hold.
Okay?
I will be working with Tanya to bring her kind of under wraps of everything that's been transpiring
Okay.
in policy committee, so that maybe she can get some bearings without being on a recorded video
Okay.
or whatnot. So the board is not going to be pulling out policies individually for
Okay.
themselves to do.
Thank you. I misheard that. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure. Moving on to IBB.
We had a meeting on January 22nd, right after the board meeting next day. Trustee Bain was in attendance. I presented the board's priorities. Just to review, actually we had some old business we were dealing with. There was a question in regards to Lakeland High School's teacher count ratio for English and math and Timberlake, and there was concerns that Timberlake's numbers were much lower, but actually after we compiled the data, they're actually almost identical, almost, not quite entirely. So that was one thing that we presented that data, and they were good with that information, or we were.
When you say they or we, who are you referencing?
There's the team, the PST.
Okay.
Yep, PST team. I presented the sick leave bank and noted it was in policy. I showed it there, and we seem very open to present it to the IBB team once we convene, and recommending that we just put a blurb in there and that refer to the policy 5405 when it comes to the sick leave, and taking the rest of that stuff, the details of the negotiated agreement. The coaching salary schedule took up most of our time from there, and they had one question for the board, and if we can get some clarification. It says, moving forward, if the board can provide the rationale for exactly why they want to remove the schedule from the negotiated agreement or change the schedule altogether, we'd like to talk to it as a group, so we just need some clarification.
Well, I think that would be a merited conversation to have in IBB with
Yeah.
the LEA and the board.
Okay.
Because that is who is supposed to be negotiating, the LEA and the board.
But we're just trying to get in front of if you need us to do some research or anything like that, just so we could bring that to the IBB
Well,
team.
the reason it was asked to be removed, and it's been ongoing for the last few years, is because it's sort of irrelevant to the agreement.
You're saying that the coach's salary schedule is irrelevant to the negotiated agreement. Is that
Yeah,
that
they're
clear?
not, they're two separate things. We were trying to get everything out of the agreement that didn't belong there, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And I believe, if I remember right, but it's been a conversation every year, so I think, but I don't really know, but that's just what I remember from years past when it came up. That was the thought
Correct.
process then. There were some other things that were in there too. I don't remember what all of them were, but that were going to be pulled out.
Hey Brooke, can you give us a list of all the coaches that are, well, how many coaches are in the union, how many coaches are outside the union? Because
So,
technically, the union can't negotiate salaries for coaches outside of the union.
so I don't have access to who is a part of the union.
Yeah.
I don't have that
Ron
information.
Beaches, the LA president.
I'm just saying, most of our coaches are non-union employees, or they're not
almost-
even employees of the district. Well, they're coaches, but they're not teachers.
Do you know how many street coaches we have?
Yeah.
that are
I could give you
teachers?
that count. I don't have it off the top of my
but-
head, but yeah, I do have
was-
that count.
It's like 60-40, right?
Yeah, it was,
60
well, it was a little bit more than that.
certified.
Last time I checked, and please don't hold me to the exact numbers, because obviously we've hired coaches, things like, it was like in the 80s were certified, and then there was like 54, 55, I can't remember exactly, were classified. So it's almost a split, in that sense. So, and when I got here, one of the things the board had said that their concern is because of that split, that there is classified in the mix when it comes to those coaches, thought that would be a warranted reason for the removal. And I did express that to the PST team. So, and that was just from my own conversation. I didn't say that's a board directive or anything, so. So we talked about those things, but yeah, that clarification would help. And I get that we want to make those final decisions in IBB, but that's kind of our team, is the problem-solving team. We're trying to get ahead of it, so when we do get to IBB, there won't be an impasse. We can both agree on whatever we decide together. That's why the board's direction is kind of important to us. And we do have another meeting for this, so the board can think about it, Connor, and come back to it or whatever you would like. So we're just asking for a little clarification, that's all.
And Rusty did email, I think, he emailed me a negotiated agreement from last year that he thought that we had all worked on. Did everyone have a chance to review that to confirm that that was the agreement?
Madam Chair, you asked me when you were on just to send it to you first, so I did not send it to the other board members, if I remember correctly.
Okay. But you mentioned it in your Sunday.
Right, and I didn't
Okay.
want to send it to the other board members because I felt like you would have the best knowledge in regards to that. So my apologies, I did not send it to the
Okay,
other
so no
voters.
one's had review over what?
No.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Do we need to have any other conversation with regard to IBB?
But you did bring it up, so I'd like to, if we, just a moment, I will send it out to everyone tonight. Because the board has done the work on that, we spent until 9 or 10 o'clock at night rewording that, wordsmithing that. I would love to present it to the PST team. Since we've already kind of did the work, it would be nice to present it and get some feedback on both sides, and again, try to be in front of this when it comes to IBB. I think it's a great document. I think about
You keep saying trying to get in front of. What is it that we're getting in front of?
well, any concerns that the LEA might have. So that's the whole point behind the whole team, is that if they have concerns, we can address those concerns, any concerns to the board. To me, the board wrote it. So now it's presenting and saying, hey, look, guys, let's take a look at this, and are there concerns? Or are there problems with wording or change of content, which there wasn't a lot of change of content in this. But we could review that information, and again, the LEA would be prepared when it comes to IBB to say, hey, look, we've reviewed this document, we agree with it, or look, these are some changes that we could make. Again, the whole point is to help us get through IBB and it not be the rush that you guys are talking about. We're trying to get in front of some of these things. That's the whole point behind it.
Well, the rush comes from the legislators usually, because we're waiting on them. You said something, darn it, and I lost my train of thought there, what you were saying. I don't remember that. Oh, the board wrote it. The board did not write the IBB agreement.
No.
The IBB agreement, the board,
Right.
yeah.
Negotiated agreement, I apologize, I
Yeah.
misspoke.
Well, the negotiated agreement, either one, the board did not write it.
This
It's
was,
been an evolution of work and last year, because of everything that was happening and
Yeah.
money crunch. I think it was like 2 meetings and it was done, so.
Trustee Grissom, the negotiated agreement that he's referring to was a workshop that was done in executive session. And that was not the one that ultimately ended up being voted on.
Yep. Thank you.
But you guys did go through an executive session and there was some changes. And I believe you were in attendance, but
She was.
can't remember.
Yeah, we
This
wordsmithed
year?
it. This year, yeah. It was, June 15th.
No, I wasn't here. That's when you presented your thing?
It was like his first weekend.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I think I missed that one, that we had, yeah.
Pretty sure, okay. But that's work that the board's done, and I'd love to present to the PST team.
I don't have any more conversation.
Okay. Okay, so you're wanting the board to give you the authority to negotiate, or not negotiate, but to present the negotiated agreement to the PST team to discuss it with the LEA before going to IBB. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's exactly right, 100%. Because the board has already done the work on that one.
Don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
I don't know
guess
how
should
we
have
can do that,
conversation.
because this is all supposed to happen in, like, how can we discuss it in an email or a document and the public has no,
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to have a workshop on the negotiated agreement, to review it, to make sure its content is what we're comfortable with pursuing in IBB. And then it can be presented to the LEA, and we can enter into negotiations at that time. I don't know, I know that we had talked about the fact that we could begin negotiations right away due to how everything happened. I don't know that that request has been brought forward yet by the LEA. So I do think that needs to occur as well, just to kind of stay in alignment with where
They
we are
have to
traveling
request
down.
to
They do have to
negotiate.
request that.
we
Yeah.
can request also.
We can
Yeah,
request?
it's 2 parties, you're right.
Okay,
The
Well,
statute says either
let's have
or.
that
okay.
be on our next, an agenda item on our next.
Well, let me, I
meeting.
guess I'll take, I'm sorry, but I misspoke. That's, the way the law is written is, in order to, you're correct, in order to engage with them in negotiation, they must request. We don't have to engage unless we request. So I guess technically you're right. They would have to request the engagement. Sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, that's okay, Ramona.
Madam Chair, I love your idea of a workshop to review the work that you guys did. But like I said, if you guys review it, give it to us, let the LEA and PST team start working through it, just, to review it again. I think it will definitely help when it comes to IBB, because everyone will be on kind of the same page.
But we talked about just starting IBB much sooner,
Okay,
so I
that's
think.
fair, that's fair,
I-
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead.
This negotiated agreement, is this the one you're talking about, that
Maybe.
25, 26?
Well, see, we have the 25-26 that went into play for this school year.
Okay.
But prior to the 25-26 going into play, there was one that had a whole bunch of red all over it.
Oh.
Because we did not, what happened last year was the LEA ratified, it was brought to the board, there were changes that still had not been made, so we did not accept it. That caused some confusion and chaos because that had not ever happened before. The board decided to work through the negotiated agreement to present some of what it wanted changed. But because of the way, the sequence of events that occurred, The salary schedule had gotten approved prior to the negotiated agreement being approved or presented for approval. And so because we had approved the salary schedule, there was some crux over the fact that, well, you approved the salary schedule, so you had to approve the negotiated agreement. So we went ahead and honored the salary schedule through the approval of the negotiated agreement, which we didn't have a problem with the salary schedule to some degree. But we did hold a workshop because there was some serious struggles with the way the negotiated agreement is written and what it contains. So we made a lot of changes. I don't know if that's the one that has all the changes.
Does it say?
What's it say? What's the thingy?
Negotiated agreement forwards.
Draft, maybe? So that might be it. But I'll go find the email.
Jake, you sent this out?
Okay.
So the
Is
one,
that the one, Jake? Okay, that's the one.
Okay. But
Should've just asked Jake.
It's the 25, 26?
You guys are on.
Yes.
Aren't we kind of like,
We're in the 25-26 school year.
yeah,
So the agreement we will be negotiating on is the 26-27 agreement.
okay.
Because it's July through
July 1.
June, yeah.
Trustee Broadhead, if I may, if the negotiated agreement that you are looking at, it has, I think, a July date in the title, that's draft, if it has the preamble, that is the one that was not approved,
That is
but the board worked on. The
Okay.
one that is on the website is the one that the board ultimately ended up approving.
Right.
So you can compare this one to the one that's actually on the website, but
Okay.
You're gonna be no pro. So,
Did you get it?
Huh?
Is that the draft or is that the?
It's the
it's the
it's
draft.
the draft.
Oh, so it is the draft.
The
Okay, so I
board's
did share.
draft. So, I guess falling back into the IBB situation, do we want to go ahead and consider a date?
mhm.
All right.
And probably the sooner the better, so.
Well, we have the 11th, or if we want to maintain it in February, or the 25th, because the 18th is our regular meeting. We could do March 11th, because the 4th is a special meeting. Unless we want to forego a special meeting and hold it in place of the
In
special
place
meeting.
of the special meeting.
Yeah. So that way and it's a workshop, so the public can come to that.
Mhm.
Thoughts? Anyone?
That's fine with me.
I'm good.
So you're talking 4th?
I think so. Are we thinking of the 4th?
March
4th of
4th.
March.
March 4th, okay. So instead of a special meeting, which hopefully, I mean, if there is, I guess, items for a special meeting that are of significant content, we can always hold the
Put it
special
up
meeting.
front and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
move into our workshop again. Yeah, so don't cancel the special board meeting or anything, just
Yeah, not yet.
add a workshop to
To the meeting?
the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's,
To be determined.
yes. We'll figure out times when we get closer to that agreement planning.
Yeah, no, that'll be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to raffle prizes.
Did I win something?
Congratulations, you did. No.
I want a seat on the board.
You did.
You did. Yes, you did. So I don't know if the rest of the trustees received it, but I did receive an email from an upset constituent due to a raffle that the senior parents were trying to move forward with, and apparently did move forward with. They were raffling a gun, and there was just a whole bunch of miscommunication, but we've really kind of ruffled some feathers over taking a stand that we shouldn't be, well, from Rusty's conversation with me during agenda planning, I guess the crux was we didn't want it to appear that the high school was endorsing a gun because it would be a bad image given that we're gun-free schools. So, do you think that's a fair?
I think it's fair to say, but do know I did do my research and I did ask, and I have not seen, and it could, hey, you could present it today and, oh yeah, I'm wrong, but at least the research I had garnered is that we never had a situation where we had a raffle where we raffled a gun. So I'm like, okay. I did bring it to leadership, we discussed it. After taking all the information in, I didn't tell the person no. What I did say was, hey, look, can you do it like a sporting goods store, you know, something like that, so they could, if they wanted to purchase a gun, they could do it, or a tent, or whatever. So, because we live where we live, I know.
So a constituent had concern?
It was, yeah, one of the senior parents.
Had concern that we were...
That we...
The senior parents did a gun raffle. They already had the cards made, the tickets.
Firearm raffle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they were told they couldn't do it. And
Told
they had,
by...
So I'm getting into
Yep.
it. So Jimmy had contacted me, actually Jake and me, and Jake had, can you speak for yourself in this one, please?
Yeah. Jake Massey, Assistant Superintendent. Yeah, Jimmy reached out. It was the week before Christmas break and just said, hey, what do you guys think about this situation? My response was, and it was within that day or maybe the next day, I am uncomfortable promoting the sale of a firearm on our campus when a student would be in trouble for researching that same thing on their phone or their Chromebook at school. And
Why would they be in trouble? For researching a firearm?
Well, Trustee Grissom, that's one of those things where we know in our community that this is something that teenagers are into, families support. Hunting is a big thing here, shooting is a big thing here. I totally understand that. We really do try to keep kids focused on school things at school. And so on one aspect, we treat it the same way as visiting any non-instructional site on a Chromebook, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing, though, is that we really do take safety seriously, and we really do try to keep a separation in our school between possessing, talking about purchasing, researching, purchasing. That just doesn't belong in the school environment, in our opinion. And so that was my guidance to Principal Hoffman at the time was, hey, I don't feel comfortable supporting this. Now, the senior parents are their own independent group, right, and they can choose to raffle that if they want to. We have no business interfering with that. What the guidance was after Mr. Taylor did some research, it was after Christmas vacation, that information got back to Mr. Hoffman, and that's when we started to like, oh no, this is already out there in the community. Our request was, hey, can we please pull any flyers out of the school? Can we take it off of the school Facebook page? Can we take the Lakeland letterhead off of these things? But they did continue to sell raffle tickets for the gun.
But they weren't allowed to sell them on school grounds, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And that was
I'm
provided.
fine with that.
Or during school activities.
Right. And 3420, policy 3420 gives me that authority to make the decision, so I made that decision based off of that.
And we want to acknowledge the miscommunication and the delayed communication. This is an organization that we absolutely value and appreciate. These parents have our students' best interest in mind. They're raising funds for the Safe and Sober Night for seniors. That is a worthy cause that we want to support. And so it was certainly not our intent to get in their way, but we do want to make sure to continue that our schools are not, we value keeping that separation between firearms outside of school versus inside.
So you separate the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment you'll go full bore for. Right? You make decisions based upon First Amendment rights when the community has a problem. But the Second Amendment, we cannot support. No. Look, there was no firearm on the campus. It was a raffle ticket. The person winning it would have to go to whomever the seller was to do a background check, to do all those things. And last year, according to this person, at Hacktoberfest, 2 firearms were raffled.
Yeah, and I was at that event, and that was not on the school. That was at a separate place, you know. So,
but it's the Lakeland Booster Club too.
It was Lakeland.
That money is raised by firearms to go back to the schools.
Right.
So,
and I don't argue with that.
No, I know. It's just it's just like the signage that we took
on
down.
their own. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's a firearm. It's not a self-exploding bomb.
Yeah.
You know, and we
Can't
do.
say bomb.
Well, I'll say whatever I want. I have a First Amendment right. Remember?
You do.
I mean, I just think we're making a mountain out of a molehill. We should have never done that. And you're right. We have to be sensitive to the community we're in. And people shouldn't be horrified of a firearm, especially boys who go and join the military, boys and girls hunt. Well, boys and girls join the military.
Yep.
I mean, and we are in our community, I think we drew more attention to it than it needed to be. And it's an organization that was doing it, and to split, we'll support one but not the other.
Can you keep making reference to
Yeah, the teacher that we had the issue with the Charlie Kirk thing, remember? That was a
Right.
First Amendment thing.
Right.
And then we've had many teachers prior to that
Right.
who have always come under the guise of First Amendment, and
Right.
that's correct,
Right.
right? So we can't support one and not the other. And there's plenty of schools that even have shooting clubs.
Yeah, no, we're fine
I mean,
with that.
it's just, I just think it was ridiculous.
I apologize if you do, but the bottom line
Well,
is.
it's North Idaho. That's the problem, and everybody has a gun up here.
So do I.
And I know, but every school, I mean, all the clubs raise money for guns. They give the money back to the schools. I mean, it happens all the time.
And it happened in
now
this
we're telling them to scrub their social media of the word gun. That's what I got the word from. Yeah, they were told to scrub their social media and to take it down. And they're 501Cs. We have no control over what they do.
But they can't use our logo. They can't, unless they have permission.
But it's okay for them to raise money. It's okay for us. It's okay for us to raise money with cars, and they kill a lot more people than guns.
I agree, 100%.
So there you go.
I would just like to add, and this discussion is helpful as guidance for us.
I agree.
That said, our administrators and Mr. Taylor and myself are charged with a pretty tall order with keeping our schools safe. And so I just want to reiterate, it really is in that spirit that we made this decision. It certainly was not intended to be an attack or a barrier for this parent group. And I hear you completely. We're listening. I just want you guys to know that that was not the intent of this. We are just trying to continue to separate and have good judgment about what's
Jake,
appropriate.
I absolutely understand that. I think my caution is that, when I'm being told we've never done this before, and I can look at you bold-faced and say, that is not true. I mean, that's where I struggle. We have done it before. This community, this school district, my kids were in the school district long before you were, long before you came back. I mean, we did it. It's part of the culture. And so respecting that we have amped up security, because it wasn't like it was when my kids were in school. Yeah. And I appreciate that because we do take it seriously. There has to be a respectful balance given that our community, our parents, our kiddos, our high school that's doing phenomenally well and has turned itself around and become this beacon of light and hope that it used to be. I mean, Lakeland used to be #1, and we've fallen down that slippery slope. We're climbing back up, and I am so proud of the administration and the team and the teaching staff and the students and the parents. they're doing a phenomenal job. But we're gonna come along and be like, you can't raise money for the students like that. I don't know that that was the appropriate approach to take, given the situation and the fact that it was a raffle. And I don't know if anybody contemplated the fact that the communication started before Christmas break, but yet we still have activities going on through Christmas break, and these parents are hustling their tushes for their kiddos.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
now we're after Christmas break. I mean, it just, maybe it was just a cluster of circumstances that
I think
were
that's
a
fair.
bummer, but once again, we've ticked off our community, and I don't like that because it's not fair to them. They support this district. They do what they can for their kids. They're supporting the school, and we're going to come alongside and tell an organization that's not the schools, you can't.
But
I don't think that's
You've
appropriate.
made yourself, and the board's made it very clear, in the future, if we do have a request, I will honor that request.
Well, it's just like, we shouldn't do it, it's like any policy, we shouldn't do it mid-year. You know, like, it's been going on, let it go through the year,
Right.
and then you bring it to policy or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
then, you know, then we don't have these problems, and everybody knows ahead of time that we're not doing that anymore.
Right, well, I did, I assure you, researched the family, I spoke to people that have been around for a long period of time, and I cannot speak on what you know or don't know, but I can tell you that the advisement was, and I'm just trying to tell you, if they would have said, yeah, this is something we did last year, the year before, I would have said yes, okay? And so that's on me, and I own that, okay? So the board's made it very clear, this is what we're gonna support, and I don't want to upset our taxpayers either. So I'm duly noted, and I will follow your directive.
Well, the problem is that as a school district, we have all these parents and we have all these business that want to support us.
Yes, sir.
And every time there's something that we want done,
Yeah.
there's roadblocks after roadblocks. We could have the best school district in the world if we let our parents do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, our contractors would want to help us,
Yeah.
but they don't have a public works license. But, you know,
I
we
can't change
gotta
that.
ramp up. I mean, the field house is costing, what, $1.2 million now?
think
Because
so.
we have to add all these entities into it that are getting paid with our community dollars, and it's like, it's a pole barn. We could put it up in a weekend, you know, and
Good
fix it up
old-fashioned
as we.
barn raising, let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Let's get to work.
Exactly.
I'll bring
I
the
mean,
beans.
you know, it's ridiculous. Every time something happens, it's like we put a roadblock in front of everybody.
True.
You know, and it's bad for our community.
And again, just to reiterate what Jake says, we did it in mind of safety, and that's, our cause was good, guys. We didn't, and I apologize if I stepped on anyone's toes in this regard, but now that I have the board's direction that you would like us to approve raffles that involve firearms, we will follow your directive.
Well, given that it's an organization that the school district does not control, I don't know that we can tell anybody what they can and can't raffle. I really don't know.
Well, if they put a Lakeland on it, then
Right.
yeah, I would tell you that we have some say over that, so.
Well, yeah, and in the policy that you cited, 3420,
Yeah.
says it may be permitted by the superintendent, not a shall. So,
Well, in this case,
I think that if, I mean,
But that's me, and I'm sorry, and I did my research, I checked into it, and that was the decision. And
what
I
was
did
the
tell-
research that you did? I'm just curious.
I talked to multiple people that have been in the area, I just have. I talked to our principal, I talked to our assistant principals, I talked to my assistants.
Okay, so you talked to Mr. Hoffman?
I did,
And you talked to Mr. Neff?
I did.
And you talked to Mr. Frank?
Excuse me, pull it back. I talked to Mr. Hoffman strictly. That's who I talked to when it came to the high school staff.
Okay, and you held conversation with him, correct?
I did. I asked him the question, and he, like he does, he tells the truth all the time. He goes, Mr. Taylor,
Yes, he does.
I cannot remember a time that we've done this. And I said, okay, thank you. I appreciate the information. From there, I talked to the assistant superintendent, and then I brought it to our leadership team here and presented it to them. Their recommendation was to me, Mr. Taylor, why, we're all in favor, because we are in Northern Idaho, of supporting this. Why can't we just make it about a sporting goods award or certificate, and then they can go buy a gun if they choose to. And that was my recommendation. I didn't tell the person no.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would, since we do not have policy that dictates what other organizations can and can't do, I would just encourage us to be a little bit more prudent on our approach, especially if we're going into the middle of a break.
Agreed.
Because we don't need to keep pissing off our people.
I don't want to, I think we're on the same page. Jake and I don't want to piss off people either, all right? We want what the board wants, but we also want to fall within the parameters of the policies too.
There's kind of some insanity about guns in this country.
Yes, sir.
When knives can kill
Yep.
a lot quicker and a lot quieter.
Yeah.
My previous father-in-law, when he went to grade school, they'd take their rifles and go shoot gophers and ground squirrels on the way to school or on the way home, and they'd put the guns in the back of the room. The only time a gun got shot in the classroom was the teacher picked up a brand new rifle and was looking at it and shot a hole in the ceiling. Nobody else had a problem. The insanity just kind of feeds on itself to where big scary guns just because the color or the whatever.
Well, my family would put them in the truck, and they would hang on the truck and they'd drive to school.
Yeah.
So I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah.
So.
Kids, when I went to high school, had gun racks in their trucks and.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
but life has kind of changed for us, unfortunately.
When my kids were in school here, they still had gun racks
Yep.
in their trucks.
They did.
yeah. So that was isolated from the school as far as the actual.
Wasn't that long
That's
ago.
the point they've already made.
Thank you for the board for the discussion.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Moving on to the certified salary schedule. I did ask that this come back to the board. When this was approved, I did bring it out that we can't support this schedule, and I would seriously like to have a conversation about the fact that I think we need to go back to a columned salary schedule that we used to have, so that we can still honor our staff, but we can't sustain this. And then having the one scale and then a shadow scale and all these scales we can't. There's absolutely no way. Because I feel as if the unspoken approach is constantly, it's okay, we'll get more in the levy, which that's just an observation. It's not that anyone said that to me. I don't want anyone to think that. But given the struggles we have with levies and the fact that our taxpayers have spoken loudly about levies, we have to get a salary schedule that we can support. Respectfully, I know we have to have some supplemental income to support any salary schedule, but there's no reasonableness in this other than everyone just keeps climbing up the ladder and we can't afford that. So I would really like to go back to the multiple cells. I don't know, what was that, lanes and cells, or what did we call it? Lanes and cells?
It's cells.
Okay. So we had lanes and we had
Rows
cells.
and cells.
So I think it would be beneficial for us to entertain the conversation now, not after legislatures make a decision and then stress Brooke out, because that will happen if we're like, well, we have to wait. And I don't want her to be under a deadline of, you've got to produce this in a couple of weeks. So can we please have some discussion about the salary schedule? The certified salary schedule, which in my opinion, if we're going to go back to lanes and cells for the certified, it should also be done for classified. I don't think it should just be a single column. Mm-hmm. Because it's just not realistic, not for our district and not for our budget.
I haven't seen any salary schedules like ours in the whole state. I was looking
There's
at-
one.
Huh? There's one on honors?
That I've seen, yeah.
Yeah. Post Falls is multi-tier. You know.
We might be successful, I don't know. That was cute, thank you. So I do want to acknowledge all the work that went into pushing this one single column salary approach, because a lot of work had gone into it to get there, but it's not sustainable. So I do think we have to go back to what we had before.
I think it's almost like we had to go there and sort of clean everything up into one little row so it can be spread back out or something. Yeah, I'm open to that. When do you want to talk about this? I mean,
Well, it's for discussion right now.
well, I mean,
But I mean, we can do whatever we need to do.
Can we talk about it at the workshop or whatever?
For the negotiated agreement?
Yeah.
To go hand in hand.
We'll set it in there.
I mean, what do you want to? What was your idea for somebody else to come bring those
My idea
lanes to us? or-
Well, yeah, my idea
Okay.
would be to turn the certified salary schedule back now to
Right.
human resources and
Okay.
say, please spread this out again,
Yeah,
where
and
we were.
how close can we get it, at least, I know the dollars won't cross-reference, but at least language-wise or hierarchy-wise to match with what the statute says. So if the statute calls something blah, 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 it would be easy, and that was part of the problem before, is it was hard for people, anybody really, to find where they went according to how the statute was laid out.
Right. So it would take a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work between me and the CFO. The CFO is the one that is going to have to make all the calculations and everything. I mean, she's the one that puts the most effort into these salary schedules. So it is going to be us, it would be us brainstorming on how to get back to, you know, the lanes and stuff, so.
I know that dollars, you know, will have to ultimately come from her and you and whatever the legislature does. But is there somebody that has a salary schedule that
Yeah, multiple.
we've thought about?
Yeah, I've been looking at surrounding districts that have definitely met the minimums, but also have lanes, so
Okay.
I have been researching.
Okay, all right.
In the previous district I came from, we had separate
Yeah,
lanes.
who is that, Dave?
That's Coeur
It's
d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene.
Mhm.
So, Brooke, do you feel comfortable that if we suggested that something be drafted and considered, like what a layout might look like, maybe not necessarily have the dollars hardlined, would that be something that could be accomplished?
I mean,
sooner
I
rather
can work with Jessica and see, you know, if we can have something for your guys' workshop.
Okay, that would be by March 4th.
Okay,
I think.
all right.
Thank you.
So 1 month.
Yeah,
Come on.
thank you.
Thank you, Brooke, for everything you've been doing for us. Great.
All right, so MTSS. It was brought to my attention that we put MTSS in the middle school and then we took it out. And then I've been told that we have it here, but we don't have it there. And so I asked Rusty to look into MTSS within our system. And I am curious, Rusty, how much did you put into this discovery of the MTSS
Well, I'm very familiar with MTSS, you know my background.
within our district?
So I'm going to give you some preference here, okay? So obviously I wasn't here last year, as we all know, and so I've asked Jake, who is our, he's tasked under our flow chart, under instruction. So I did task it with Jake to review the information. We talked about it. I have principal meetings every month, so those are conversations we've had. I've talked to Laura because there was concerns about the middle school. So anyway, so the information was compiled. I asked Jake to write a report. That's it.
Okay. Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I just want to acknowledge, based on what you just said, Trustee Thompson, I might have missed the mark with my report a little bit.
It's okay.
You know, this, as you all have seen, is not a historical view of MTSS in any building,
Right.
secondary level or elementary. It's really an overview of what is MTSS and what systems exist right now, in a very general sense. And so I would be happy to visit with you guys about that if you have any specific questions.
Well,
yeah.
I guess I know that MTSS used to be in our SIP plan. I know it wasn't in this year's. And I was disappointed to find out that it was at the middle school and then it was removed. I know that we have students that are struggling simply from the mere fact that they're the COVID kiddos. And so there's holes. And, you know, teachers are doing the best they can with what they have to work with. And what are we doing to help these students besides telling teachers, well, you know, you need to figure out how you're going to help this kid.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm being told is occurring.
Yeah.
And the principal that was at Lakeland Middle School did bring MTSS back into the building, and it was very successful, and the kids were thriving, and then now it's not there again. So I just don't understand the inconsistency, and I'd really like to understand how we are successfully, maybe uniformly throughout the district, approaching student deficits.
So,
Yeah, that's-
Jake, can I have just a second? I have done my research on the middle school. Obviously, we had more funds to work with last year. We had an increase of 65 kids at the school. So that basically, when you cut your revenues and then you add kids to it, that's going to increase your class sizes, or if you have an MTS program, you shift those resources you know, to those classrooms to cover those kids and to make sure that those subjects are being covered. When it comes to MTSS in general, to me, it's good teaching practices. First stage is about identifying, first reviewing your data and identifying the kids that do need the assistance. Generally, there's a group of people, by statistically 10, 15, 20% of those kids. And as a teacher, you try to do things, and it's very difficult at the middle school and high school levels, and I don't want that to be an excuse. It can be achieved. I absolutely agree with you 100%. But that's kind of the reality we're facing right now, is that a lot of those MTS programs, which starts in the general classroom with the general ed teacher, where we break those kids out, give them additional assistance. The kiddos that are not struggling as much, the other 75, 80%, those kids kind of push on because they can do so. So that's kind of short answer on that one, and I apologize if I was misled on last year's information. So Jake.
You asked some really, really good questions. I cannot speak to exactly what happened at the middle school level last year.
Okay.
What I can speak to is, as a principal in multiple districts across the state, I can tell you that it is very easy to say that you are an MTSS school.
Right.
It's very easy to say that you're bringing MTSS. As you probably read in my report, I believe that using general statements like that are usually pretty misleading, because MTSS applies to a really, really giant system that is pervasive throughout the entire building and affects every single level of instruction.
Right.
And so usually whenever we see somebody in a first year, or even in the first 3 years, say, yep, we now have MTSS, personally I would say, okay, that sounds great, but tell me what it looks like, because that's a very, very tall order to do overnight. I can tell you that along the lines of MTSS, both of our middle schools at this point have multiple layers of student support in place that would contribute to an MTSS system.
Okay.
Now, does it function in as clean of a version like I've outlined here with tiers 1, 2, and 3?
Mm-hmm.
Not always. In fact, often it doesn't. But I do believe that they are making steps in order to get to a place where students who do not fit, let me rephrase that, students who do not benefit from the support that a classroom teacher can provide still do have other options. We're always building towards that.
Okay.
A major setback that we experienced was just some of the staffing cuts. I mean, and that's just a very simple equation of we have fewer staff members, and so the level of support goes down. I think that we are building back from that pretty thoughtfully with things like instructional paras that are used very purposefully to float around the building, manage data, pull students out of class, and help remediate them in those core content areas. Bigger picture on the district level, I know MTSS is not in the SIP plan this year, but what we are doing behind the scenes is really, we call it an audit. We're doing an audit of all of the MTSS programs pretty systematically, starting with the elementary and moving up through the grade levels, just in a very objective and uniform way, making sure that we are assessing, hey, what things do you actually have in place and where are the holes that we can patch to make it more effective.
Okay.
So, and that is, like we've talked about before, it takes a minute to turn the Titanic, and so I don't want to give the impression that that is something that happens overnight at all. In fact, it will be a years-long endeavor. We will see results before years go by, but to be a fully functioning, true MTSS school where that system is as pervasive as it ought to be will take us some time.
I appreciate your candor on that because I understand it's not just put this teacher here and all the problems go away.
Yep.
Knowing that it's on the radar to right the wrongs, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Just to add, and cut me off if you guys are ready to move on, but I'm excited about this. It's very difficult to find a secondary school, middle school or high school, statewide that has an MTSS system that is worth copying. I mean, it is very difficult, and this is a topic of conversations in school boards everywhere. We finally found some school districts that we believe have a system that is achievable and reasonable and affordable, and so we are starting to reach out to them to see exactly what that model looks like and to see if it's something that we could gravitate towards.
I think the gal that we hired for Garwood, she was the middle school principal, right? Yeah, she implemented district-wide. It's at the middle school level, MTSS. In fact, when we did her interview, I was greatly impressed with her knowledge of MTSS and special ed and, you know, in depth. Like it was something dear to her heart. And she's right here in our district.
Yeah.
I know she's busy over there, but she might be part of a team to help.
Yeah, Trustee Grissom, that's a great suggestion. Mrs. Hensel's phenomenal. Her knowledge of kind of a specific part of that system that we call PLCs or professional learning communities, that's more the tier 1 aspect. I mean, she is truly an expert, and it is a wealth of knowledge there.
Is the biggest problem at the middle school, do you think? Like for that support?
No.
It's elementary schools, and that's why it's where it's at. Because obviously, if you catch them up at the elementary, then the issue's not as much at the middle school level. So
maybe we should switch principals.
Oh, she'd love that.
What? She applied for that job.
Yeah, she was. I was quite impressed with her knowledge and just her. You could tell that it was something that breathed life into her. Yeah. You know, it was her thing.
Credit to Mrs. Hensel, absolutely. You know, Trustee Quimby, I appreciate your candid suggestion. I think that there is a lot that goes into that process, though, and I would hate to talk about that too flippantly. So. Go ahead.
I was just thinking the narrative between this year's SIP and last year's SIP, which did reference the MTSS and then gave quite a bit of a narrative of how we approached that. And like you said, it's one thing to say and one thing to actually do and see. But I know there was just quite a bit, but we can update that at any time. And we can go back and modify it or whatever.
Sure.
But,
Does the board have any other questions for me?
no.
Jake, thank
Thank
you.
you, Jake.
Well done.
Thanks, Jake.
Definitely appreciate the information. Thank you. All right, we have dates to remember. Everybody's geared up for Friday, right?
What?
Oh, Jeff is like, "Yeah, maybe."
We'll go ahead and we'll strike policy committee for February 9th and February 16th. And then we have our board meeting on the 18th. Do we have any input for future agenda items?
Don't have anything.
No, as long as everything we talked about tonight, I guess we already said it. I think that's it.
Okay, all right. So on that, I do need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74206A1B.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We need a roll call vote.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead?
Yes.
Chair Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
Vice Chair Grissom?
Yes.
On that note, we'll take a 5-minute recess and then come back to executive session.
There we go.
Okay, all right, so we've come out of executive session. It is 9:02, there are no decisions or anything that needs to be made, so we'll go ahead and end the meeting. It is 9:02.
Hey.
9:02.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
And then I just stop recording.
Yep.
Yep.